Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Digital Summit interview series. I'm being joined this year on the series by speakers, sponsors, and attendees who really love Digital Summit and have something really exciting to share about what's coming up at our series this year. Super excited today to be joined by Zuri Godfrey, a speaker that's going to be joining us down in Orlando, February 26th and 27th, coming up super quick. Zuri is a believer, marketer, and creator, both at LinkedIn and a brand marketer at Google. Thanks for joining me today, Zuri.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to speaking at Digital Summit once again, this time in Orlando, Florida. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to a little bit of sunshine with the snow that's been around the last couple of days, depending on where you are. We're getting hammered pretty bad here. So,
We're getting hammered with rain in the Bay Area,
uh,
actually. Yeah.
yeah, we all need some sunshine. So yeah, we're super excited to have you down in Orlando. I'm specifically talking about branding yourself on LinkedIn, and we'll talk about your session. That's gonna a little bit more details about your session in a little bit.
Mhm.
But I wanted to start off just talking about some news that came out from LinkedIn in the last week that I think I was pretty excited about. Want to get your take on it.
Mhm.
So using AI, which AI is part of everything in the world right now, they dropped some new features just in the last week that are designed to help facilitate better networking for people.
Mhm.
A couple of those things they've got like they're categorizing your connections now versus into the group you can connect with to grow your profile versus people you
Mhm.
may just want to catch up on.
Mhm.
And there's another generative AI feature that came out too. So what do you think about all this?
Yeah, it's actually very timely. Earlier today at work, and this is public knowledge as it was open to the public, I spoke on a Black History Month panel about AI for Black creators. And for myself as a LinkedIn creator, reading an article about the new AI features coming to the platform, I'm excited, and specifically about the generative messaging capability that they're going to provide their premium users. Where if you have premium, LinkedIn's AI can actually generate a message for you to send that you would normally have to do yourself. And so I'm really looking forward to that. Curious to see how effective it will be, but I think it's definitely a step in the right direction as far as making sure that AI is implemented into their product and therefore useful and helpful to and for their creators.
Yeah, I'm all for anything that it makes us our time more efficient, especially on LinkedIn, which I think you can end up spending hours, just trying to figure out the right message. And if you're not someone who's generally great at crafting those messages, you're relying on other team members, you're stressing out about it. So I think the idea of having this
Yeah.
bot in there that's going to be able to do that. But I'm super curious, like you said, to see what the results are going to be because we know everybody wants to use AI, but I think the lasting impact of what that's going to mean for our campaigns and the people we're reaching out to and the performance is what I'm really, really interested in. So yeah, we'll be testing it out a little bit over here. I'm sure you will as well.
Oh, for sure. And it's definitely going to help with my grammar, spelling errors as well,
Oh
hopefully.
yeah, same. All right, so let's dig into a little bit about your session that's coming up in Orlando. So the name of the session is to leveraging LinkedIn to 10x your personal brand. So just give everybody the highlights of what people are going to be able to take away from that session.
Yeah, and to start, I was very intentional about the nomenclature of it. It's not leveraging; it's leverage, and I'm
Mm,
very specific on that because I really want it to be something very actionable, like leverage LinkedIn to 10x your personal brand. It's going to be about how to break down three different parts of LinkedIn that for myself I've seen as a LinkedIn creator be successful. And it starts with your profile, and then it continues with posts, meaning the posts that you create and make on LinkedIn. And then it ends with how well you manage your community. And so that speaks to the presence. And so, yeah, we're really going to break down those three specific topics and make it as interactive, engaging, and informative as possible. Breaking it down a step further, so starting with the profile, really going to be able to provide people with a tangible checklist of things that they need to include on their profile to 10x the engagement, to 10x their personal brand digitally. And in doing so, not only will it be a checklist, but it'll be a checklist that has context to it. So I'll breeze over and touch over the different elements and kind of prioritize the elements of a profile and then share best practices for each. That way, they can take that context into and apply it with the checklist that'll be that the audience will be able to take away. And then the second one, posting, really want to provide and share some thought leadership and subject matter expertise surrounding how to post, when to post. So we're really getting down to the nitty and gritties and tactics because I really wanted it to be very actionable, as mentioned, and tactical. And so
Hmm.
I'm going to touch on what to do and what not to do as it pertains to posting on LinkedIn and how to optimize and 10x the engagement. And then the last is presence. Overall, how to build a great digital presence, specifically through the medium of LinkedIn. And in that particular topic, what we're really going to focus on is community management. That's how to interact with your audience, with your followers, with connections, even with people that you want to connect with and that you follow. How to
Mm.
interact with them, how to manage that community. And so those are the three topics that'll be covered. There's a lot of miscellaneous things that'll come up, such as LinkedIn Premium and LinkedIn Social Selling Index Score Kit is another hidden gem that not a lot of people know about. So I don't want to give too much away, but hopefully that was enough to entice people and excite people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm always trying to figure out how to get my LinkedIn profile to look better and work better for me, in the times when I'm not actually on the platform. So I think that's going to be awesome. I think that's such great takeaways. That's the thing about Digital Summit is we really like it to be actionable. We don't want it to just be all thought leadership or all inspiration. It really is you're walking away with the checklist, which I think is going to be so beneficial to our attendees. So speaking of the posting aspect of that, I think one of the things that a lot of marketers are worried about, I worry about it when I'm posting on there, is sounding really LinkedIn-y or tacky or inauthentic. What
Yep.
are some of the ways or some of the pitfalls that you see people doing that, where they feed really into that almost that corporate lingo too much, where you don't really sound too much like a human anymore?
Exactly. Yes. And I definitely see that. And some of what I see a lot of times are your more typical templatized posts where they say grateful to announce my partnership, so and so on
Mhm.
and so forth. But I really, flipping that on its head and taking a more positive approach and answer to that question, AI, you leverage AI. You can utilize Google AI tools such as Gemini to ask it to write copy for you in the tone of voice that you actually want it. So
Mm.
that narrative on its head, you can a prompt could potentially be write me a social media caption about my work on this campaign, and you insert the details, and you can even include in the tone of a voice that's not a corporate manner, if that makes sense. So I'm really I'm really excited to see what AI does as it pertains to content creation and how it transcends it.
Absolutely. And just in general, with even with posting or maybe how we're engaging with other folks in our networks, daily or weekly or however often people are on LinkedIn, what are some of maybe like one or two common mistakes that you see that are just super easy to fix that maybe are on your checklist for folks to take away from this session, but something that really anybody in any profession could do, not just marketing?
For a profile or posting or both?
I'd say profile would be good. Yeah, we'll start
For
there.
profile, yeah, for profile, I would say common mistakes. You said two. One is with your headshot. Your headshot should be. I'll start with what it should be, and then what I see. What it should be is from the neck up, and have a clear, solid, or it could be colorful or creative background, but not too busy. Still professional. And if you were in, say, the tech industry like I am, you don't have to have a suit and tie on. A nice shirt, a nice jacket, or even hoodie. But it should be just nice, professional, and polished. But what I see a lot of times is people sometimes even have full body pictures as their headshot, or even if it's not full body, it's from the waist up. For your headshot, they only really need to see your face. And a lot of people have busy backgrounds, or the background is obviously in a setting where it's not as professional. And so that's definitely one that I see. And to go around that, there's a lot of image editor apps that
Hmm.
one should take advantage of. And then say two, as it pertains to mistakes I see on a LinkedIn profile, is not taking advantage of the recommendations section.
Mm.
Every manager that I have, once I am no longer under their management for a role or at a specific company, I ask for a LinkedIn recommendation because those go that's literally your letter of recommendation that
Mm.
that you have to solicit when you are looking for jobs, references, so on and so forth, is literally there for you digitally. So that is definitely something that I don't see enough of, and I hope to see more. And if I could add a third one that
Go
that
ahead.
comes that comes top to mind, you really got me going here, is not turning on creator mode.
Oh, yeah.
I, it's a huge. I remember when I first turned on creator mode, instead of it just showing 500 plus connections, it automatically, in the click of a button, changed to 10,000 plus followers. So I said that to say, if you're even trying to position yourself as a creator, or even not a creator, but just a thought leader, a subject matter expert, if you will, to show and demonstrate that and almost provide some credibility to what you're posting about, that follower count could help.
Hmm.
So yeah.
I love those. Great takeaways and something super easy. And I love that you mentioned too with the headshots that we have so many tools out there that can help you improve your headshot, change the
Mm,
background. Like there's so many amazing AI tools out there now where you don't have to go into, I say this with all respect for photographers, but you don't necessarily need to go into a photography studio to get your headshot done now. If you have a shot where you look good, you can adjust the background and you can change it up every once in a while too, based on kind of what you're working on, where you're working. I think that, and I love the people who get really creative with the image on the top of their profile, I think is really interesting too. So yeah, I love that you're able to give those kind of sneak peeks away. I'm sure there's some really, really good nuggets about, common profile pitfalls that we're all going to learn from your session. So I want to talk a little bit about people who you really respect on LinkedIn. I know you're a strong creator and you have a great following and you're really out there to help people, but who are you looking up to and whose profile do you think is doing a really good job?
yeah, actually, a colleague of mine, Caitlin Kumi, she is a LinkedIn creator and a creator on other platforms as well. She definitely has. For context, she's a black woman in tech, so just that perspective is something that I appreciate, being black in tech, but not necessarily, obviously, or not obviously, but I'm not. I don't identify as a woman, and so just seeing that perspective, that is really, really good to see that narrative, and her, not narrative necessarily, but her point of view on that, in that space. So her for sure. I would say second to that, Brandon from Kickstarter. He is someone that I recently got connected with and have been following his journey. And his follower count isn't necessarily as high as mine, but his engagement is through the roof. And so that's very, very admirable, because when you look at follower counts, sometimes it doesn't dictate the level of engagement that a creator
Hmm.
has. His engagement is skyrocket high. So really admire that. And then the third person I would say is, oh, I have to. I'm sorry, I'm going on the bias train again with another colleague of mine,
That's all
Stephanie
good.
Stephanie from Google. She's a also a co-founder of Max Up, and so that's an easier way to find her as well. Her content is great. She provides that Latinx spin on things that I have come to appreciate in her content, and it's career centric, and so it's also even helpful for me to implement some of the teachings that she posts about on LinkedIn. So I'll say those three.
I love that. And I love that these creators are specifically people who are bringing such an authentic voice to their actual experience and work. And it's not that polished, just corporate lingo. It is really like, no, this is the reality of what I'm dealing with or being excited about on a day-to-day basis. And I think those, you can tell with someone's tone and with the posts that they put out and the content they share from other people. what's
Hmm.
important to them. And I think that's all of us going on there and using it as an extension of ourselves, not just as a brand, but as a way for us to connect with other people is so, so important, especially now.
I agree.
All right. Well, before we close out, I just wanted to get to know you a little bit better. So, can you share just what's like a current obsession of yours right now? Is it a show, a movie, or a podcast that you're just really into?
Yeah, so I'll take the movie route, and I'll go
Okay.
One Love. I'll go One Love, and it's near and dear to my heart because I have Jamaican roots, and so One Love is a movie that's out in theaters now about Bob Marley's life and his upbringing and his matriculation in life as a father, as a musician, and it really moved me for sure. So it's something that I definitely see myself watching again. The first time was a great tease to it, but that's definitely some content that I want to consume more. It just makes me feel closer to my late grandmother who was born in Jamaica. So that's something that's top of mind for me.
That's great. And it's so good to hear that they did it justice. I think is one of the things. There's a lot of these movies coming out about music creators or other large creators where they're reflecting on their life, and they've been doing it really well. So yeah, I take that and I will definitely take a look at that one and make sure to watch. So thank you for sharing that with me. Zuri, we're super excited to have you down in Orlando in that sunshine. Really grateful to have you speaking specifically on LinkedIn. I think these actionable takeaways that you gave now, and all of the extension of the one you're gonna give us down in Orlando is gonna go so far for our attendees. So, thanks for taking the time to chat with me today, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you. And yes, if you're watching this and you will be at Digital Summit Orlando, you should come to my session because I am sure that you are a professional, a marketer, or all the above who utilizes LinkedIn. And I can help you build that personal brand and even generate business leads and clients from the platform. So hope to see you there.